you ever seen a chandelier in a Murray quarter? Gotta tip the hat to Mrs. She does a really good job at sort of making these sort of houses look a lot more homely. Yeah, you cannot polish a turd, but you can certainly roll it round in glitter. So this week's episode, I'm going to be talking about the infantry. So not in the specific roles to do within the infantry, just more the actual infantry, because a lot of questions saying like they've went into the recruitment centre or assessment centre and people are telling them your education, you've got too much education for the infantry, you'll be wasted the infantry, you'll get bored there. That is absolute shit. If I ever find out whoever talks about that, they're in for it, like, because there's a lot of rewarding stuff to do in the infantry. Anyway, we'll get amongst that in the episode. There'll also be a video then towards the sort of end of it, sort of showing exactly what we got up to last year, just to show that it is interesting and you do get out and about. First of all, before we get into it, get some coffee. How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode. And you know what, I feel like I haven't done an introduction in a while, so this is just in case someone has just discovered the channel for the first time. My name's Luke, and I'm a serving soldier in the British Army. Welcome to the channel. It's all about the military, sort of first designed to sort of showcase on what we do, specifically my regiment, so Royal Irish Regiment. But now it's sort of evolved, and it's just about helping people join the army, just being informative, so giving you as much information as possible to help you make that decision. So whether that's you in specific or joining the army, or whether it's for a relative, brother, sister, or it's for your son or daughter, whoever it is, and even if you've got no intentions whatsoever in joining the army, just to get that entertainment out. I can't get my words out. Too much coffee. Red Bull last week, coffee this week. Start stuttering my words. Anyway, so let's get that entertainment value out to you as well if you enjoy the army. And if it is up your street, please consider liking and subscribing. It sort of helps the channel and helps beating that sort of YouTube algorithm and spreading the message around. So then, this week's episode. So what is the crack with the infantry? I'm going to cover sort of 3 points. One's going to be confidence. The other's going to be like, you can sort of mix it around. I don't know how you label it, sort of cohesion and friendship. And then third one then is going to be, attitude. I've got a script here in front of me to sort of help me out. So the third one's going to be the sort of attitude and that people have in the infantry. Like obviously I said there in that sort of first intro, I get some messages about, people being directed away from the infantry, because their education's too high or whatnot. Now, yeah, okay. Unofficial, I don't know. I think recruitment is civilians. I don't. What sort of information do they know about the infantry? Yes, we'll not go too much into that. Right, first one, confidence. You will gain buckets of confidence. Now, obviously, yes, you will get it in the army as well. However, personally, infantry, I think you're going to get a lot more faster as well and more developed with that confidence. Right, the reason being for that is it's just the nature of the job. 9 times out of 10, the stuff that you're going to be doing in infantry, you're going to be doing at a faster pace in sort of more stressful conditions. I'm not taking it away from the rest of the army. Of course, they do everything to the highest of their ability, and the army would fall apart if it was just the infantry. We need everyone together. But today, just focus on infantry. So there's that, the confidence. Now, the reason that I'm pulling out the confidence-wise is job-wise. So, I'm not going to go too depth. So you've got a platoon really in the infantry, yeah? So you've got all these different ranks, and then you've got your rangers and rangers at the bottom. In the infantry, you will do the next job up so many times, it's unreal, yeah? You're not going to get paid for it, so I'm talking more operations and exercise, yeah? So whenever maybe someone is away on a course, because we are extremely busy in the infantry, busy as ever, or if it's in battle or operations, they'll be injured. So you're going to be stepping up into that next job. If you haven't done the course to get you ready for that job, straight away now you're going in. Your confidence will start to skyrocket, especially if you're just a ranger and you're now in command and you're leading people. So an example of that there then is I'm going to use operations. So flick all the way back to 2006, Helmand Province. It was the first time our lads went to Afghanistan. So they're attached to, that's whenever us as a regiment, we were within 16 Air Assault Brigade, and first in to Afghanistan. Yeah, Helmand Province now, Helmand Province, 2006. So we had a Ranger platoon, got selected from our regiment, and they went across to 3 Para, C Company I believe, and they went off into Sangam. Now, that operation is in the whole tour. I'm going to do a lot more on that specifically in a little bit of a documentary service. So I'm just touching here now on the sort of step up piece. So within that platoon then, every single person, so Ranger within Ranger platoon, was wounded in action, as in a command appointment. So every command appointment was filled by someone who wasn't the sort of, so like the platoon commander, someone else had to step up into there because you get severely wounded. The platoon sergeant, someone had to jump into his slot, so I believe like a corporal, so that's the section commander. So as he slots up into that, his now job needs filled. So a lance corporal now is jumping up into there, and then the lance corporal, because he's moved up, a ranger now is having to step up into that appointment. So in every case in there, someone had to step up to the job above them. Weren't qualified for it, so this is experience. And this is not on exercise, this is on one of the most kinetic tours in the history probably, or it's obviously World War II, so I'm talking our modern history in Helmand Province. You know, the most kinetic tour. You got guys stepping up onto them sort of positions and then commanding the troops and getting the job done in a highly kinetic operation, highly stressful operation, and they got amongst that. So the experience and the confidence you're going to gain from that sort of thing is like, you're not going to get that anywhere else. There will be a lot more reference that sort of battle and that tour in later videos. Some of our tasks now, so new operations and stuff, is going out, pushing out across the rest of the world and teaching other armies different sort of tactics and stuff to help them along, because we're the British Army and we want to help everyone. And the ranks going out to do that are sort of junior level ranks as well. Obviously seniors and stuff will go out with them, but it's like your sort of junior ranks, Lance Corporal, Corporal, they're the sort of instructors. You know, you'll go away, you'll get taught on, you'll go away, learn a course, so like urban ops, flipping CBRN, so that's like the chemical, biological, CBRN, chemical, biological, radioactive, oh my f***ing word, and nuclear, yeah. So basically all the stuff that makes you flipping grow arms at your neck, yeah. So you're going to go away, learn stuff like that there, and then you're going to have that confidence then to go away and teach that. So you could be teaching to a squad of people who are maybe below you, which is quite easy to do, but then on a different end of the scale, you could be going away and giving a brief or instructing someone who is a flipping a colonel, or you know, a sergeant major or some high rank. When you're at Lance Corporal level, that is quite daunting, like. So straight away, at the time, you're going to flip and be, but after it, your confidence is going to skyrocket. And if you're consistently doing that throughout your career, at the very end, if you're doing 22 years, at the very end, just think what you're going to be like to someone who is maybe just, you know, decide to take a job or a career just to be easy, like sort of 9 to 5, just to pay the bills, anything hard sort of approaches, you want to stay away from it, just want an easy life. So yes, confidence will flipping skyrocket whenever you're in the infantry. Cohesion and friendship. You know, the cohesion and friendship you're going to get in the infantry is like no other because of that sort of platoon sort of orbit. So you're working closely to all these sort of people in really tough times. That will naturally bring everyone together. You know, whether it's be operations, it doesn't even need to be operations. It can be really crap exercise. You know, 6 weeks in Kenya, living on top of each other with lions and flipping all the rest of it, trying to get you, is going to bring you together pretty quick. And then naturally what starts to happen is that transition happens when you sort of first join up. You'll still have the connection, and you should always keep a connection to your civilian friends, that sort of civilian life, because you don't want to just bleed green all the time. But naturally then you'll start to see people who are consistently going home all the time, even when they come out of training, because when you finish training, you've only been in the army flipping 6 months, and that's if you've just if you've went, it's not Harrogate. So they're naturally starting to go home every weekend anyway. But you know, 1 year goes down, 2 years go down, you start to see that sort of development where you're now starting to run around with the guys and work. So you're working together, you're going operations, you're going all these exercises. Then, you know, long weekends come up. Yous are always going to have money because you're paid the same amount, the same time. So you're going to go, like, let's go to Magaluf for this weekend, or let's go to Amsterdam, or let's go travelling during the summer. You'll start to see that happen a lot. So the friends and the cohesion stuff starts to really kick in. Okay, next thing with friends and cohesion now, it's It's more higher, slightly higher up them with the rank the officer. Now, I don't know about other regiments. Definitely we are regiment. We have this flipping, don't know where it comes from, like, but we're really close with the platoon commanders and our officers and leaders, and I think anyway, stirring that all together. Yes, there is that divide, because you need to have the sort of divide between the leadership and sort of everyone below you. However, we get that right, and not too much for camera, but the way we go about things, we are sort of officers, and our other ranks is, you know, is perfect. You see guys consistently inviting flipping work friends into their sort of personal life as well. It's class. Like, I live here in the Mary quarters in the summertime. It's brilliant. Like, so out there, barbecue going, everyone comes round, get blitz with each other. You know, if the families want to come later on, they do, and you start to, you know, that friendship will evolve as you evolve as a person anyway. So at the start, you know, obviously you're flipping 18, 19, flipping disappearing all these different companies on time off. But then as you evolve, and if you do get married, or if you just don't get married, you've got like sort of a missus, you get kids, it's doing that thing, barbecues in the back garden, big, and then they go to bed, and then all the lads who stay behind, big massive barbecue turns into a flipping bonfire, and you're just on it all night with Jack Daniels. Yes, so cohesion and friendship, definitely. Infantry, it is all about it. So, which leads me on to the next point, is innovators. I personally think the infantry are the innovators of the British Army. The new kit and equipment, it gets trialled with infantry units. They get taken way down to, I think it's down south somewhere. And so if you look at all the body armour, the Virtus, all this new stuff that's coming in, it's infantry who's innovating that sort of stuff happening, passing it down to these companies. Like Virtus, parts of Virtus is not great. It's not good. It needs fixed. And infantry people they're getting amongst it. They're passing this information on to PGHQ and all this sort of stuff, who are then getting it to the right voices and getting this stuff changed. So definitely over the next, I was sort of in a conversation with someone at PGHQ a couple of weeks ago, and the Virtus is as good as it is now. These tweaked, but them tweaks are happening over the next couple of years, regards to the helmet, regards to the body armour. And yes, 100%, we are the innovators when it comes to kit and equipment. And like, sort of, I'm going off on a tangent because I do like kit. So like NVGs or night viewing capabilities and stuff, at the minute we're sort of on the sort of Cyclops still, so the 1-1. We're now looking at potentially coming into sort of double vision. It's been tested out by the sort of teams that do all that sort of stuff. You look at the SA-80, the new sort of version is modernised, and to be honest, I want a rifle that's going to put something down, and an SA-80 is 100% proven to put people down at distances away. So you got all that sort of stuff. Our vehicles, you know, the Foxhound, touching on, because we are Foxhound vehicles, you know, that thing is mental. That's class. You know, if you think about how we've come from flipping, I don't know, like up banner days, like the Snatch Land Rover, which then got taken from there in Northern Ireland and thrown over into Iraq, and then it was even seen in flipping Afghanistan. It wasn't suited. This Foxhound, everything that's in there. Now, you know, there will be people going, nah, it's a pain, it always breaks down. The driver just be all over his first parade and his last parade, and that thing will just get through anything. So that is a big thing. There's all sorts of other sort of armoured wagons coming to us, as in the infantry and sort of armoured units. But innovators, we are it, I think, personally. If you don't, jump into the comments and let me know. But this is obviously not to take anything away from the whole British Army, so all the different trades and skills you can do within it, because I'm definitely, you know, within their own skill set, they will be innovating in different things. You know, whether it be engineers, med, you know, driving, all that sort of stuff. You know, they're obviously the infantry isn't innovating the whole British Army. I'm just saying what is good about us in my sort of trade, because I do get the sort of comments and the sort of private comments saying, you know, I went to the assessment centre, I don't know what sort of education they have, but they've sort of said to people about their education, no, you're going to be wasted infantry, and it's sort of changing the stigma around the infantry. We are not crayon munchers who just put a heavy bit of kit on their back and just advance off. You need to use your brain in the infantry. It gets used a lot daily, especially when you're away on operations and away on exercise. And if you are one of them people, you may think you are a bit too educated to join the infantry and you will be bored. Okay, don't come in as another rank, go to flipping Sandhurst, become an officer. Personally then, in the whole army, I think a platoon commander is one of them best jobs you can be, to lead people into battle. Like, okay, if you may have the same sort of qualifications or degree as someone you've went to uni with, and they're now, like, I don't know, a GP doctor in whatever, you know, yes, they're going to probably get more money than you, but what's going to give you a better life? That's rephrased wrong, because obviously a GP doctor gets paid a lot. What I'm trying to get at is, when you're sitting at flipping 70 years old, yeah, and your grandkids are there, and they want to know stories off you, do you want to be telling them a story of, yeah, you're working in that GP and you sort of listened to people come in, complain about their knee sore, or they've got a sore back, scratching away, or whatever else, or you want to say, yes, okay, sit my knee, I led people into battle, I done this, I inspired people, I advanced their careers, I marched a platoon through whatever else is due to happen in the next 30-40 years. It's just about, I think anyway, the education piece, it's all totally up to you what you want to go with, and what sort of you think suits you best in your life. But definitely, I'm just here to say, it's not, you will get just as much out of the infantry as what you put into it. Do your education, do other sort of courses, you get sort of grants and stuff. I done a level 3 diploma in personal training and nutrition whenever I was an ITC catcher. It has nothing to do with the army. So you get a grant, the army funded, I think I paid 20% of the course out of my own money, and they'd done the rest. It was a £2,000 course. I've now got that qualification. If I wanted to get out, one, I've got the confidence now to go and speak in front of people and to sort of sell a business, and then two, I can sort of run another business on the side. And I don't have any intention of doing the sort of personal training stuff. I've just done it out of interest because I have white space to fill. But it's thinking outside the box. You can do anything you want to while you're in. And see, to be honest, you will have the time to as well. If you're not in operations, you're not in exercise, there are times in the infantry where you will have white space, quite a lot of it. Other regiments or units within the British Army, you know, their job, like, they will have to do it from night. They're working 9 to 5 because their job is back in the UK, like construction or vehicle mechanics, all that sort of stuff. Because there will always be vehicles and stuff to fix. Infantry, you know, once you've done your fitness, done your lessons for the day, if you haven't got something on the horizon, there will be a lot of sort of white space. But definitely, if you're getting ready to deploy overseas exercise or operations, that white space dwindles away. But it is there, and there is people who have done. So I'm talking other ranks now, who've studied degrees, got degrees while they've been serving, and it's allowed the time for them to do that, because one, you've now got the safety blanket off the army still paying you, so you don't have to worry about, I don't know, say for instance someone's out there and they decide, okay, I want to start doing a degree now, but they have to do a sort of 9 to 5 job to flip and fund their rent and do all this sort of stuff, whereas Army provides that sort of safety blanket for you. Right, so infantry wise then, I did promise at the start, if I did, I can't remember now, if I did, I put a short sort of 3 minutes of sort of video of what exactly we get up to last year. So this is us Rangers, 12 months of us last year, 2019. Check it out.
Fight through fire and pain and always get up again. There's nothing we can't do, and we're about to prove. Oh, we get stronger as we go. This is how we get it done. This is how we do it, do it. This is how a kingdom comes. This is how we do it. We've made our way to here. Oh, on and on we go. This is how we get it done. This is how we do it, do it.
go, guys, come on!
This is how we get it done. This is how we do it, do it. This is how a kingdom comes. This is how we do it, do it. This is how we get it done. This is how we do it, do it. This is how a kingdom comes. This is how we do it, do it. Oh! How a kingdom comes. How we get it done.
Okay, so there we go. That was 12 months with us, Rangers, for a period of last year, 2019. So, you know, during that time we had a major operational deployment to Afghanistan, and we don't have that this year. We're into sort of a training cycle again, but it's just as busy. We have sort of smaller operational deployments. We've got guys going out to the Middle East on small teams to go out and train people all around there. We also have overseas exercises, one to France in April-May time. Going to do like a small sort of documentary in that piece, so stay tuned with that. And then there's sort of major other sort of bigger exercises towards the end of the year. When then 2021 going into sort of more tastier stuff. Anyway, that is it. Speeding off there. Thanks very much for joining this week's episode. Next week then, hopefully should be back in by the same time, but there's sort of stuff going on with me at the minute, changing jobs very soon, more to come out with that, so we'll be a little bit of moving around over the next couple of weeks, but definitely looking to get one in next week. Thanks very much for joining. If you have got something out of it, like and subscribe, pass it on to anyone you think is going to get something out of it, and if you're here for the entertainment, thanks, stay tuned, and I'll see you again next week.